share with us a few words about these opportunities and certainly maybe some of the numbers.
Thanks, Anita. Yes, I am the small business advocate inside the fence, and I'd say outside the fence too. Earlier, Mike and I spoke, and he said, "Well, if you go first, then I'll spin off of you, and I'm going to do the same thing." The Naval Facilities Engineering Command, as everyone knows, is the executing arm or the executing agent for this buildup. A lot of opportunities coming down the pike. I think most of us in this room know that we've had a hub zone multiple award construction contract awarded in June. We currently have a small business MAC in the solicitation phase. As a matter of fact, that will close in a couple of weeks. And a couple of weeks ago, we had a pre-proposal conference for the Guam MAC. Now, the capacity on the Guam MAC is about $4 billion. More importantly for the small businesses, and pretty much the island here, are the small business opportunities. The small business MAC that's on the street right now is about $500 million. By the spring of next year, I think we've seen that also. We've got about $1 billion worth of capacity for small businesses. And as Mike mentioned and Ken here mentioned, you have to make sure that you're ready to take advantage of the opportunities. Internally, NAFAC Marianas is growing. We're restructuring to prepare for this buildup. We're looking for a lot of folks. We've hired, I believe we've increased by over 100 personnel in the last year. And I understand a comment was made about engineers going to NAFAC Marianas. We're still looking for them. So if there are any engineers out here, I'm going to put in a plug for NAFAC. UOG Fieldhouse, a job fair. We have Mr. Sam Roundtree out there. But, joking aside, there's a lot coming down the pike, and a lot of people think of construction, and certainly that's the topic that's getting all the headlines. But we have a tremendous amount of small business people here, very smart folks, and I believe what we don't emphasize is the support side. Granted, construction, it has to take place, but we got to think about what those contractors need. I think of a fighter pilot. Everyone thinks of a fighter pilot, but no one thinks of all the guys who support that pilot. The folks who gas his airplane, the guys who fix his tires, so on and so forth. Likewise, with this buildup, thousands of laborers coming on island. The Marines, when the Marines arrive with their dependents, there are going to be a heck of a lot of them. We need to start thinking about providing services. Okay, these guys got to get fed. They got to have a place to stay. Large contractors need places to put their equipment. So the smarter businesses will start thinking about that, and I'm sure some of them are doing that already. When the Marines get here, I can tell you, barbershops are going to be full. Marines love haircuts. They get them once a week. But these are the kind of things that people, we need to start thinking about. So not just construction during the buildup, but the support areas that go along with that, the support functions. After the buildup, same thing. The construction is going to come, it's going to go. What's going to remain is a Marine base over there in the Finnegajan area, and all the Marines and their dependents and support agencies involved. So for those of you who are not construction contractors, something to think about. And we have a lot of smart folks. It's just a matter of finding out what it is you do best and getting ready to do business with the federal government. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Al. Now, I've shared with the panel these pre-canned questions. I'm going to first direct a question to Ken that's not pre-canned, but it really has to do with the kinds of technical assistance support that's already out here in our community. What with the Guam Small Business Development Center that has been in existence for 15 years up at the University of Guam and have helped hundreds of our local small businesses, new startups, and certainly those existing who are looking for ways in which to grow, to expand so that they can help create new jobs and grow revenues that ultimately feed back into our economy. So, Ken, my question to you is, what can we look forward to with regard to additional federal resources, whether it be through expanding the kind of support for technical assistance, either feeding through the Guam Small Business Development Center, or certainly now that we have the Guam Procurement Technical Assistance Center, what have you heard in the federal grapevine that we can look forward to?
Well, presently, right here from the local standpoint, this buildup not only affects Guam, this buildup also affects our neighboring islands, the CNMI. And one of the things that we want to do to assist our neighbors as well with the military buildup is the expansion of our Small Business Development Center out there in Saipan. So we're looking at this fiscal year as being an opportunity to doing so. And that way we'll be, again, utilizing the resources that they may have, join up with us. Here's an opportunity that we can probably do that. In addition to that, the stimulus package is still under play, in where there's a lot of technical assistance out there. Funding sources are available as a result of the stimulus package. That they can afford, the community out here can afford financial assistance through our SBA guarantee loan programs and working along with our local lenders here as well. So the monies are available. It's just a matter of obtaining the proper requirements and obtaining the information so that way you can avail yourself to it as well.
Thank you very much. And Al, I know that you have a wonderful file of PowerPoint slides that show the targets for small business set-asides, and I'm not quite sure if any member of our panel has seen what those targets are, but can you just give us just a sampling of what those are with regard to contracting opportunities?
I think I've mentioned that we do have our small business max. The Hub Zone MAC, again, $400 million worth of capacity. Now, that doesn't, I mean, we can spend up to that much, and that would be set aside for small businesses. In the next couple months or so, we will be looking at our general construction MAC, and that would be about $100 million worth. And, you know, I will say that the general construction MAC is going to be an 8A set aside. For those of you who may qualify, you know, it's one of those opportunities that you need to take advantage of, because that's what this next MAC will come out for. In process right now is our $500 million small business MAC, and if there would have been more people at this forum, I think they're probably out there trying to put together their proposals, because that's due in the next couple of weeks or so, okay? But a lot of opportunities, but I need to remind everyone, too, that, as Mike mentioned, contracts are not going to be just awarded to you. You have to demonstrate that you have the ability to perform. The federal government, along with large prime contractors, and for those of you who have been contacted by large prime contractors, you'll know that we, the federal government, along with the prime contractors, or any business with a subcontractor, we want someone who can provide a quality service or quality product at the right time and at a reasonable price. Keep in mind, there are a lot of folks out here, Ken mentioned earlier, competition is getting pretty strict. Those with the sharpest pencils, those who have done their homework ahead of time, will be the ones to get ahead of the game.
Thank you. Now, Mike Adie was invited to the panel, former multi-year chairman of the Small Business Focus and Development Committee of the Guam Chamber of Commerce. Mike has been able to avail of opportunities within the gate as well as outside the gate, serving as the pulse of the small business community. Do you think they're doing enough, Mike, to support small businesses?
Well, first let me clarify something. When he's speaking of MAC, for folks of you that are from Rio Linda, MAC is a multiple award contract. So those are where they give you a purchase order and assign job orders to it, the tasks throughout that situation. Yes, I think they're doing plenty. I think that there's a lot. The SBDC and the SBA PTAC have done phenomenal work reaching out. The Chamber of Commerce, for 4 years, we've been doing seminars, monthly seminars, Business 101, Fed Biz 101, how to get your ducks in a row, accounting, legal issues, many things. There's been sufficient training out there. My focus on people is to find a need and fill it. That's why I've always done with my business philosophy. If somebody wants to buy bed legs, I'll find a way to sell them bed legs. But